And, we've talked about, in conjunction with going to daily mass, I've read a couple books recently. One was one that you had recommended to me, and I loved the author so much, and I ordered another one of his books and just devoured them, for lack of a better term. And they've just really helped me grow my faith.
Can you give us some high points on some of those books? It's hard to say in a few words of
Sure.
all the content of the book, but many times there's just
Yeah.
very powerful moments that a book will speak to your soul. How do they speak to your soul?
Yeah. So the author's Dr. Brant Petrie, and these books are called Jesus and the Jewish Roots of Mary and Jesus and the Jewish Roots of the Eucharist. And I'm a cradle Catholic, and there are things that the Catholic Church teaches. There's different doctrines about Mary, her Immaculate Conception, perpetual virginity, Assumption into heaven. There's teachings about the Eucharist. It's the real flesh and blood of Jesus. It's not just a symbol. And I always accepted those. I never really had a problem with any of that. That was what the Catholic Church taught, and that was my faith, and I believed it. But as I've gotten older, you start to get these questions from friends and family members, and I think every Catholic's probably gotten them at some point. I know you have, Father, probably just to the effect of, why do you worship Mary? Why do you pray to Mary? Why do you have statues of her when the Bible clearly says, don't have statues? And don't you know Jesus had brothers and sisters? How could she be a perpetual virgin? What about that Bible verse that says Joseph knew her not until she had Jesus? And, the Eucharist, how can you think you're eating someone's real flesh? Like, that's cannibalism. And what about those 3 verses in the Old Testament where God explicitly says, don't drink blood, but now Jesus comes and says, no, drink my real blood. You just start to get a little nervous. And, so I had some of these questions, and it didn't really, shake my faith as much as it just frustrated me that I couldn't give those answers to the people who were asking, and even more so for myself. All these beliefs that I'd had my whole life, I needed them affirmed. And so that's what these books have done for me. Truly, they're amazing. Dr. Petrie deals a lot with typology. How we know the New Testament fulfills the Old, and the New is always better than the Old. So he talks about Mary, of course, as the new Eve. And he substantiates that. He doesn't just make that claim, but, just simply, Eve was born without original sin. So, of course, Mary had to be born without original sin, or she couldn't be better than Eve. And he goes on to, talk about, of course, Jesus didn't have brothers and sisters, and here's how we can be assured of that, and goes on to explain her perpetual virginity, why we believe that, and why it's important, why she had to be. He talks about her as this, the new Ark of the Covenant, right? In the Old Testament, that's where God came to dwell and be with the people, and Mary's our new ark. Literally, Jesus came to earth and dwelled inside of her. So again, it lends itself to her being assumed body and soul into heaven. And I just think, regardless of where you're at in your spiritual journey with Mary, whether you don't think about her much or you pray the rosary daily, it's just a great book to reaffirm those beliefs that the church has about her, and why she's so important, and why she's worthy of our, not worship, but our devotion.